Say hi, guys. Yeah, they're not interested. Cool. So, how are we doing? Welcome back. And today we are going to the highest pub in the UK. It's a sweltering hot week, day, month, whatever, here in the UK right now. And we wanted to go somewhere this weekend. I wanted to go here for a while. I looked at the weather forecast and it's 10 degrees lower at Tanhill Inn. It's up kind of North Pennines, top of the Yorkshire Dales area, or just off the A66. I think it is the North Pennines officially. So yeah, we're going to go there now. So I'm going to go and drive. I'm going to pick up Mrs. Crummy Beard from work, and then we're going to swing by for some food. And yeah, I'll take you on the journey. Dictionary Corner's in the car. Do you want, since you're filming it, do you want to show everyone our mask? Or you can see where we're going. We're going Sir Timothy Hortons. That's the posh version. We're going to Tim Hortons.
Here's the mascot.
Here's the mascot. That's the van mascot. It's a petrified Garfield. It is quite terrifying. I think it's taken sentient control, and I don't remove it from the van. If I'm honest, it's a bit creepy. Canada's favourite coffee. That was not a Canadian accent. I don't know what that was, but this is where we're going. Okay.
What can I get for you?
Can I get 2 crispy chicken stack meals, please, both with an iced latte?
Is everything for you?
Can I get 5 chicken tenders, please? And can I get 20 Timbits, please? That's everything, thank you.
Drive next window, please. Thank you.
30 quid. It's some scran, it's good. It's much cheaper if you come for breakfast here. Like loads cheaper. Right then, waffle fry. They all go. To be honest, most of the times I've had these before, Mrs. Crummy Beard's brought them home with her, so they've cooled down a bit by the time I've got them. They're still very good then, but right now fresh. Into the chicken tenders. I have a weakness in life, and that is the inability to order food from anywhere that does kind of chicken strips of any sort and not order them. But these ones, yeah, they're pretty good. Oh, they are good. Look at the chonk on that. Chonky chicken tender. What are these to share? Dictionary Corner, you in? Nice. So let's give these a quick whirl. Again, I've had these before. This is nothing new, but it's never been on YouTube, and I've never sat in my van reviewing food on YouTube. Maybe it's the first time anyone's done it ever. We know that's a lie, but you know, sometimes it's interesting to experience what other people do. Right then, big old dip of the sauce. You might have noticed actually that we ordered ketchup with every option in the drive-thru, and the reason for that is simple. Their ketchup is outstanding. I wouldn't normally. I normally would get like mayo or chili sauce or something, but it is super good. And that is some top titty chicken breast. Right then, burger time. So this is a chicken stack. So it's basically the same chicken I've just eaten again. Apparently I'm having a very chicken-centric day. I had chicken at lunchtime as well. So it's basically just a chicken burger. It's the stack, means it's got hash brown in it, a bit like the KFC thing that they do. And we opted for bacon, which was a paid extra, because it cost you 60p. So that was a sneaky little question. He was like, do you want bacon? I was like, of course I want bacon. I always want bacon. But here we are. So that's what it looks like. Not bad. That's all. Pretty appetizing. Anyone who says that McDonald's is better than this needs their head checking, frankly. This is elite as far as fairly terrible fast food goes. Cheers. Never had it with bacon before. I have to say, I think it does add something actually.
I think 60p is well worth it.
Oh, it was a 60p well worth. Their bacon is very good. It's maple glazed. That is a delicious burger. Anyway, this is meant to be a video all about going to the highest pub in the UK, not about some man sat in his van reviewing fast food in the car park. So, cut this now. We're going somewhere more exciting. Well, as normally happens when I try and go away on a Friday night, traffic. This is the second or third bout we've had. To be fair, our ETA is exactly the same as it was when we left. It went really high, then dropped massively, and who really knows now. just getting cut up by a Golf. And yeah, so actually one thing we didn't explain before was that the reason we're going to Tanhill Inn, firstly, it's Britain's highest pub. That's just a fun fact. But secondly, they have kind of a campsite-ish. You're allowed to basically go and wild camp there, but you can't book it. It's first come, first serve. And obviously it's getting late in the day now, it's 20 to 8. We don't know if we're going to get in or not, so yes, we don't know if we're going to get there. If we don't, we've then got to go and find somewhere else to stay, and then potentially try and get in again tomorrow, because we have booked a table for food tomorrow night. So don't know how it's going to go, but as I say, it's 20 to 8, it's a Friday night, I am thirsty, it's beer time, and I'm stuck in traffic, so fingers crossed we get something soon. Who knows? Who knows? Current ETA is 8:34, so we've got 50 minutes to go. Fingers crossed. See you there, hopefully. So, another traffic jam, only a few miles further up the road. Ambulance. I'm not feeling too hopeful, if I'm honest, about this one. The rest of them just went slow and were a bit awkward. This is stopped, basically. So, yeah. Not good news, as you would hope. Still, fingers crossed. ETA 10 minutes. And we've got some, what I can only describe as hobbity roads. My favourite kind of roads, if I'm honest, except for the width issue, but we'll sort through it, but they're very nice. Seen a lot of wildlife already. Lots of birds, rabbits, sheep, cows. Not sure sheep and cows count as wildlife necessarily, but and mules nonetheless. Oh, sheep on the hillside. There's going to be a lot of sheep here. I've got a van full of husky. This is not too ideal. You might want to move, Chuck. There you go. Little dance. I have to say, I'm liking this already. Not the sheep so much, if I'm honest. Sheep mean excitable dogs, bad smells, and ticks. So 3 things I'm not too keen on. But other than that, it is beautiful. Look at this. Another camper coming up. Don't know if you can see it on the camera yet, but I'm sure you will in a second. Someone's decided to hitch up here for the night. That might not be a good sign if people are coming, but there is space here if we needed to. It's possible. I don't think anyone's going to bother you up here, except some sheep. But we do have a, as I said, a van full of sheep deterrent. So we'll see. 2.6 miles to go. No sight of the pub yet. We are just climbing and climbing though. I'm sure we'll find out when we get there exactly how high this is. I know a quick Wikipedia search before we came would have told me that, but to be fair, I did do that, but it was a while ago and I've forgotten. So sheeps, many sheeps, more sheep, tiny sheep.
Watch out for the sheep, dear.
Thank you, dear. Watching out for the sheep. Oi, oi, sheepy. Looking at me like, what you want? Yeah, guys, you're gonna have to not stand in the road, my duck. Oi, ducky, move. The ones lower down were quite willing to get out of the way. The higher up we get, the more belligerent they come. But I think we're here. This looks like it's busy. I think it's fair to say. It is busy. Which is slightly problematic, although I could definitely get my van on there. Or in that, or on that. Right then folks, we are, yeah, this is it. I don't know if the wind's blowing the microphone. It is bleak as it gets up north. Lots of campers here, apart just behind that white one there. Don't know if this is actually campsite or not. It's all a bit chaotic, but I'll go into the bar and find out what the crack is. So there you go, Tanhill Inn. See you in a sec.
Also, I should There's no asparagus at look.
Hey, can I get a pint of Old Peculiar, please?
Yeah, ready.
Yeah, no worries. Right then, it was yeah, I had a very tasty pint of Old Peculiar in there. It was very good actually, super rich, and it's busy. It's teeming in there. I couldn't really film because it was so dark and busy. And if you can hear that, I'm not sure what's coming across. There is a band on, a Madness tribute band, but it's like in a separate building. But yeah, heading back to the van now. We'll go back in there for a pint later. Hopefully when it's calmed down a bit, maybe people will be going into the gig and it'll clear out a bit. Because in there right now, chaos and slightly inclement weather, to say the least. Heading back into the pub. So just basically went and sort the van out, get the dogs off to bed. Dixie Corner's tired, she's not bothered, so it's about 10 past 10. Going in for hopefully a couple of pints before heading to bed myself. We were up at 5 this morning, so knackered. Yeah, but the weather's gross, it's busy, not ideal, but at the same time, it's nice to be somewhere different. So. And that, to be honest, was pretty much all of the coherent filming that I managed on the first night. Headed back into the pub, I said for hopefully a pint or two. It ended up being quite a few more. I do kind of talk about this a bit later on the video, but basically Tanhill, because it's in the middle of nowhere and there's not really a proper local population, everyone's very much in the same boat, as I'm sure you could see from the amount of camper vans and, to be honest, this lovely roaring fire. It's just a place that people go to get away from it all, really. Just, you know, get out there into the wilderness and enjoy a few quality pints. Just taking a look here at the inside of the pub. This is one of the dining rooms where the food was fantastic. More to come on that later on. But yeah, it was just a nice place where people would get together and just have a chat, really. You can see here some of the actual outside of Tanhill in the sunshine the following day. Interestingly, they've got both Black Sheep and Theakston's kind of official signage, so I'm not sure if they're part owned by both or just, yeah, I don't know really what the deal is there, but it's interesting to say the least. This was their own Pilsner. That was, frankly, yeah, pretty damn tasty as far as own brand Pilsners go. Nothing too much to shout about, but it was pretty decent. But yeah, they've just got loads of great stuff on. They do a few of their own beers. You probably saw a sign earlier of their Dark Skies Stout. That was a particular favourite of mine. I have to say that was very nice indeed. And here you go. I think this was the first pint I had of it, actually. And, well, the head was a bit OTT, but thankfully all the subsequent ones, they'd managed to sort that out. A pint of Theakston's Best Bitter to finish the night off, and now we're into the next day. The second I start recording, the dog takes a poop. Good morning in a very, very windy Yorkshire, just as it turns out. I did say I wasn't sure what areas. We're actually on the Pennine Way, but this is officially Yorkshire at the moment. Just found out that the pub's boundary, well, the county boundary's changed a few times, and, well, no idea if you can hear me because of the wind, but yeah, currently it's in Yorkshire, just. Had yeah, some good pints last night, actually. Talked to a lot of people, a lot of van owners, so geeking out about that. But yeah, had a nice time. Now, the hounds are on their walk, and we're about to have to pass some sheep with them for the first time. I alluded to it a few times yesterday. Huskies and sheep, not best friends, I think it's fair to say, but well, fingers crossed. Right, wind's a little bit calmer on this, but it's kind of hitting the back of me now, so you might hear me. But yeah, we're just kind of taking a little stretch, well, not a detour, we're just a fork in the road and went to one of them. So no idea where we're going. Leave that, dogs. Leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. I said that a lot, can you tell? Leave it.
That's almost as many as the sheep counter we had on the way up here. Speaking of, more sheeps! More sheeps in the distance for us to go and try and get us way around. But yeah, lovely walk so far. Lovely day. It's warm, but the wind is so fierce that you don't really get warm, so all good. Rightio. As you can see, the van has moved. People started leaving this morning, and we decided to go and get a better spot, much closer to the pub. I mean, it's there. It's there. It's right there. So, which is convenient because the beer is now even closer. I always look orange when I sit in this seat because, well, it's orange in here. A little fuzzy microphone thing. Hopefully it's clear enough. It's very windy. The rain keeps coming in. You would not think it was June. It's like a slightly humid October day out here, but it is the end of June, and to be honest, we came here because the weather was going to be colder, and it is, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, that is what we're doing. I feel like this video started off with a lot of intrigue and excitement and interest, and the reality of it is, folks, is that I've come to sit in my van for a few hours before going to a pub, the same pub yet again. Hopefully though, I'll get to film a bit more in there today when it's quieter, because it was heaving last night because of the gig that was on. And so after the last bit of footage you saw, I'll be honest, I can't remember what the last bit of footage I filmed was, because I did a couple of beers. I ended up staying in there for a while, talking to lots of different people. It was a nice. It's a good place. I think you could come on your own. If you fancy a bit of solo touring, but you know, fancy having a chat and a pint with nice people, it seems to enable that quite a lot. I've been to a lot of country pubs, and you kind of sit there awkwardly because it's just locals sat around. Most people that come here, I don't think are that local, and as a result everyone's kind of in the same boat. So yeah, good for that purpose if you fancy a bit of solo traveling. I'm gonna laze around until it's beer time.
Hello, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Got a couple of pints so far, and too many apparently, because I've just nutted myself on that corner. Ow! Anyway, back on the Dark Skies Stout, which I had a couple of yesterday, and I have to say, it's Tan Hillin's own stout. It is absolutely spot on. It's really good. The wind hasn't really given up yet. The rain's not been around for about an hour or so, which is nice, but allegedly wind's going to die down in a couple of hours, which should make it all very pleasant, but find out soon, I guess.
So after a few beers earlier on in the day, I headed back to the van. I enjoyed this, well, I say enjoyed, I tolerated this pretty average Pilsner that was a French import, given to me courtesy of my father who'd recently been in France. It was bang average, if I'm honest, but he wanted to know my thoughts on it, so I let him know. It was absolutely bang average. Then let the dogs out, let them just have a you know, some chill time in the van. Here's Nanook taking a look at all the sheep. It's very exciting. And then it was time for dinner. So here you can see the entire menu. It was really, really good. We only had mains on the first night. We had a dessert on the next one, but more on that later. This is the ham and chicken pie with a side of chips, mushy peas and gravy. You know what? It was absolutely stunning. Proper hearty pub food. And this is Dictionary Corner's kind of hot pot. That thing, the video doesn't really do justice. It was massive. Apparently, I've once again put in a picture of the Dark Skies Stout board above the bar. Just because it was such a good beer. I had another one of these after we'd all gone back, and kind of that was it for the night, to be honest. So now, time to chill and get some good sleep in the great outdoors before the final day. That really was all the pubbing for the duration, because I had to drive back the next day. But I have to say, the beer quality at Tan Hill Inn is absolutely superb.
Good morning. Another windy day in Yorkshire. Sun's out today though, as you can tell. It's a bit warmer, and right on cue I've stopped. There's a dog doing a poo. Right, let's try again. Good morning. Another windy day in Yorkshire. Sun's out, shining. It's a little bit warmer today. Still windy enough for us to get out for a little walk, but to be honest, 2 days in the boozer, all that, getting a bit tired, a bit ready to go home, I think. But we're not going just yet, because you saw what we had for dinner last night. It was very good. We've also booked in for Sunday lunch, bang on midday, so we can still get away pretty early. But yeah, looking forward to that, I think. It's been a great experience. It's not quite what I thought it would be. It's a lot busier, loads more people than I thought, but I mean, it's good. So the people will come. So yeah. Gonna finish this walk, inevitably mill around the van for a couple of hours, then it's time for Sunday lunch.
And with our last walk of the trip done, it's time just to chill and sort the van out before it's time for the infamous Sunday lunch. So yeah, just get everything put back together, right, ready to leave pretty much as soon as we're done. So we had a midday reservation just so we could just shoot off straight afterwards. But to be honest, just sitting around in this place and watching the sights and sounds is quite interesting. All sorts of people turn up here, not just to stay, but just to come kind of, you know, part way through a drive, cycle, jog, walk. You get lots of different people, lots of interesting vehicles turning up, and also there's just a lot of sheep to look at, to be honest. You can see the view here, absolutely stunning. And as I said, sheep galore. I mean, they're almost in the pub at points. It is, frankly, just a little bit ridiculous at times. Here's another one, baby sheep walking through. You can just spend hours watching them do their thing, because there is so many of them, and they're almost always up to a little bit of mischief. I think this is a mother sheep trying to herd the baby that just walked past, because it probably shouldn't have been in the boozer. More sheep next to a classic bay window VW. That was very nice indeed. And another sheep just right next to my van, because I don't know, must have liked winding my dogs up, I guess. But yeah, sheep on sheep on sheep. It really is just a very tranquil place. I appreciate that this video probably isn't as much about the beer and the pub as you would have liked, but unfortunately it's so busy and I'm guessing successful that, well, it was too busy to really film a lot. But hopefully you get the idea. Lots of old nods to its kind of mining past, lots of, you know, the wheels and the buckets of rocks, I guess. They had this flag with the king on it for some reason. I guess that's just left over from the coronation, but maybe we're leaving that on there. I don't know, but there he is, looking well, slightly windswept, I have to say, that flag. It's looking a bit torn at the edges already, and it can't even be that old. Moving on through, we've got even more kind of bits of mining history there. I guess that's a great big old lantern. And it's just views. It's a tranquil, peaceful place to go and chill out and take a look at all sorts of vehicles and stuff. Here's a nice tractor with Tan Hill Inn written on it. Someone's left a bandana on there. And this is probably the most interesting thing. This is a legitimate Arctic exploration vehicle, kind of engine and kind of towed vessel, I guess you'd call it. It's got the old peculiar logo on it, which is even funnier. It's road legal, as you can tell from the license plate, and they use it genuinely when the weather gets that bad up there in winter, and it does. They use this thing to cart beer up from, well, wherever they need to get it from. So yeah, it's pretty fascinating. And then just before it was time to finally go for that Sunday dinner, we were surrounded by the lesser spotted Morris man. Now, this is probably an irrational fear of mine, but for something about a collection of Morris dancers, it gives me the creeps, if I'm honest. I don't know what it is. As far as I'm aware, I've not had any particular negative experiences with them. Just always put me on edge. And then they surrounded my van. So yes, I was just kind of keeping out of the way here. But yeah, time to go in and enjoy what would be simply scintillating Sunday lunch. Here's a good look at the bar, actually, for the first time. And then it's through into the dining room, which it's all very rustic. It's all very yoldy-wildy, which I think is exactly what you want from a proper Yorkshire boozer. Of course, I was driving home today, so a pint of Lucky Saint it was. They were quite proud of the fact they got a alcohol-free beer on tap, and I'm not surprised given the amount of kind of bikes and cars that just nip in for a bite to eat. That pint was very good, and just look at this Sunday dinner. The size of that Yorkshire pudding. I went for the big one because I can't resist. It was 3 meats. I think I had beef, ham and pork, or gammon and pork. It was 2 different pig varieties anyway for some reason. And here's Dictionary Corners with a lovely beef dinner, again with that massive Yorkshire pudding. Empty bowl club on that one, with the exception of a few gristly bits of meat, but there really was nothing compared to the amount that you got. It was absolutely superb. And to follow, it's the only real acceptable form of pudding after a Sunday lunch, a crumble. From memory, I believe this was a pear and blackberry, or pear and blackcurrant. I had decided to have it with ice cream because it was getting a little bit warm, but it was absolutely superb. And you could even eat the little thing that says Tan Hill Inn on it, which is nice, bit of rice paper. And with that, we have to bid farewell to Tan Hill Inn. It's been an incredible journey. It was relatively peaceful. I've probably tried to amp it up more than it was. It was just a trip to a pub for the weekend. But, you know, it's somewhere very different. You don't really know what to expect. And all I can really tell you is that the beer is fantastic. The views are incredible. If you like sheep, you're going to enjoy it a lot. And more importantly, if you just want to get away for the weekend, it's well worth it. And unfortunately, it's now time to drive home all the way back to the day-to-day graft until the next adventure, and until I see you again. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you would be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.